Hello, and welcome back to my channel.
Is it 2010? What am I doing? Oh my heck, hi girlies! Welcome back to my channel! Today we're going to be dissecting the Utah influencer Iceberg. With the new series Secret Lives of Mormon Wives coming out, the ballerina farm drama, and the success of Real Housewives of Salt Lake, I thought, why not perfectly break down everything that's going on in the Utah content creation sphere for those of you who might not know what's going on? Because why are there so many influencers out of one state, out of one religion? What is going on? But I'm here to help because for some reason I'm like a sponge in the world around me. I just take it in. I'm an onlooker. I'm an absorber. A people watch. I don't know. I'm annoying. I'm annoying is what I am. But don't worry, I am wearing this ironically because it's a Utah influencer hat, obviously. I also love Iceberg videos, so if there's one that you want to suggest, let me know. Let's just get right on into it. At the very top of the iceberg, I'm going with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now, I actually did a recap on this video if you want to go watch it. And this is a masterpiece of content. I absolutely loved the series. You've got so many great characters out of it. My favorite housewife, Meredith Marks, she has a shop in Salt Lake City. You've got the most famous one is probably Lisa Barlow because she's always doing a collaboration with Wendy's and she went famous for the "Hi baby gorgeous" meme.
Hi, baby gorgeous.
Heather Gay is another star of the show. She actually owns so many med spas in Utah, it's unreal. And Jen Shah went to prison and became best friends with Elizabeth Holmes. Anywho, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Very broad audience. I think that had lots of national reach, anybody would know. Next we have Ballerina Farm. Now again, this is something that I've covered more than I want to. If you want to check it out, there's other videos on this. I'm putting her at the top of the iceberg because while she is a new influencer, I would say that she has really gone viral recently because she's been in the news for her whole should moms be doing pageants thing, blah, 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 blah. And then is her husband a sociopath kind of deal. I would say that most internet users that are chronically online would know who she is at this point. Next on the iceberg, again, this is still pretty common knowledge. I'm saying the Mormon MILF Talk girls. If you were on TikTok 2 years ago, these girls were everywhere. They would come on the FYP, do a dance, put some crazy clickbait on top, and just go viral again and again and again. I think Taylor Frankie Paul, one of her big moments was she was trying to tell people that she was 50 years old and had grandkids, and the grandkids were other adult women in the room, and people weren't sure if they would buy it or not, and they were all these like gorgeous hair extensions, fake tan, big eyelash, gorgeous women clickbaiting the shit out of TikTok. It was so random. And for a minute there, they were the talk of the town. But Taylor Frankie Paul was the head of the club, right? Taylor Frankie Paul went to jail for a night because she literally was fighting with her boyfriend and threw a chair at him, but then the chair missed him and hit one of her own children.
Paul now faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault and domestic violence in the presence of a child causing injury.
Tate and I know the truth. He knows it, I know it, and so we're able to move on now that everything's out of the bag for us. We found out the worst. I've admitted the worst, we've done the worst, and it's just done.
She was not doing well. I've been to parties that they were also at. So being this close to the juice, does it even taste that good? I made that up. That's such a dumb saying. But next on the iceberg, we have Studio McGee. Now this is a famous interior designer. Basically Studio McGee, they got like their own Netflix series or something and they're big interior designers. There's not really much to it. I don't think they have that much lore. Next, we have Indie Blue. Now, if you're around my age, you probably thought that Indie Blue was the blueprint. So Indie Blue is this influencer who blew up like 10 years ago, 2014, 15, 16, peak travel influencer. She was this gorgeous Utah girl who basically graduated high school and took off traveling the world, and she was a wedding videographer. So she brought her camera with her and made the most beautiful aesthetic films and photos, and she always had the wittiest captions and her style was immaculate. She always had the coolest, trendiest new looks. Everybody my age, I promise you, was obsessed. Every teenage Utah girl was literally hanging onto her words like they were the motherfucking Bible, okay? Then she spun up this company called Lonely Ghost, and they made very aesthetic shirts and sweatshirts that say, "I love you, say it back." I mean, every brand under the sun has ripped them off at some point now, but I even used to have a "I love you, say it back" sweatshirt. And the brand blew up so hard that I think most people in the United States recognize the brand before they know her. Like even Addison Rae was wearing merch not even knowing that it was Indie Blue. She was just thinking it was Lonely Ghost, which is such a cute brand still to this day. But I will say there have been a couple scandals. Like they dropped like a police line right after BLM, so it was kind of a bad look. And then just a lot of people say she has mean girl behavior. Not that that matters because we're just going over the iceberg. Next, we have Aspen Ovard. And honestly, she should be higher up on the iceberg because now that I think of it, back in her prime, she had millions of subscribers on YouTube. And she would just do cute girl tutorials, eyeliner, hair, makeup, outfits. Those were the days when you were watching Bethany Moda, when you were watching My Life as Ava, and Aspen Ovard. She was one of those OGs. Since then, she's chilled out. She's actually started a brand. She seems to be doing really well. She's definitely taken a seat. She's definitely not doing the same content that she was back in the day of like hair tutorials and makeup, but she's vlogging, she's sharing her life online. And I think it's not just Utah girls watching her. I think it's a pretty broad audience. Next, we have Rachel Parcell. I think the Parcell family lore is one of my favorite things to lurk about on the internet. I honestly think the Rachel Parcell brand is so beautifully done, and I think Rachel Parcell's wealth is so fun to watch her spend. And I think Rachel Parcell is so fun to watch because she spends money exactly the way I would. Like, I'm not saying that she's spending money in a good way. I'm not saying she's donating to nonprofits, but I see her house and I'm like, that is exactly the house I would buy if I were rich. And I see her car. I think she has like the world's most lifted, crazy Escalade, and she takes her daughter to dance in it. And I'm like, that is precisely what I would do. She has really good taste. But basically, she became one of the first people to really utilize Like to Know It. And I think it was called Share a Style back in the day. Basically, Rachel Parcell started out opening up a blog spot a million years ago where she shared about her life as a newlywed in Provo, Utah, I think. Over time, her blog started getting a lot of attention from people, not because of anything she was yapping about, but because people loved her style. Every photo she attached, people were like, where's your lipstick from? Where is your outfit from? I need links. So she was one of the first people to start using platforms like LTK or Share a Style. She became one of like the first influencers ever. And then she met up with Tan France from Queer Eye and said, you know what needs to be shaken up? Modest church dresses. Why don't we make modest church dresses that slay? And Tan France was like, okay. By the way, Rachel Parcell, she turned her whole entire family into influencers, and the lore that they have is absurd. Sometimes you'll click onto a Parcell family Instagram story and they are damn near lighting a $20 bill on fire in front of your face, and it's awesome. Next, we have Cara Loren, and she is considered one of the biggest influencers in Utah. She's definitely more of an Instagram girly. Her niche is kind of fitness, fashion, family. She's one of the ones that, again, is kind of doing links. She's just very aspirational. She's doing workout ideas. She's selling Amazon workout sets. To me, this is not one that I follow closely, but she is one of the biggest, so I'm putting it up there. Next on the pyramid, I have girl bosses. These are business owners, entrepreneurs in Utah that started businesses so big that they were able to become influencers about the business, if that makes sense. So for example, this hat, the girl who started Gigi Pip is now an influencer. I would even say Crumble Cookies as a brand is its own influencer. Yes, Crumble Cookies is Utah based, but I would say Sawyer Hemsley, who started Crumble Cookies, through that affiliation has his own page where I like to see what cookies he's making. I do. He's so shredded to be eating that many cookies. I gotta know his secrets. Just kidding. Now we're getting into the areas that I've kind of just done as groups. So next we have affiliate link or like to know it queens. So I think there are millions of girls shilling piece of shit Amazon crap on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, what have you, all day, every day. They sit in their new construction home against their gorgeous staircase that they happen to have decorated in neutral boho with accents of olive. And they make OOTD videos, Amazon fashion finds, Nordstrom anniversary sale deals. Everybody knows the anniversary sale is fake. I think if you can name any of these women, you are in too deep. If something really cutesy pops up while I'm scrolling through the feed, I might fall for it and buy something, but I never ever follow these people because I hate buying random crap. But like, honestly, my mom is the target market for this. She's like, well, just in case they post something I like, Tyler. I'm like, you don't need anything! Stop it! I'm like, Mom, you have every Amazon Lululemon legging dupe under the fucking sun. I promise you, following one more girl who's trying to sell you a $30 pair of Lululemon dupes is not going to change your life. Next, we have macro coaches. Being hot is really important in my culture. So obviously fitness and wellness go hand in hand with that. I think a lot of people in this culture are really high achieving and love setting goals. It's a very big part of Mormonism. But there's such a high interest in self-improvement, which I think is awesome. Enter macro coaches. I don't know why, but there's like 80 macro coaches who happen to have over 100,000 Instagram followers based in Salt Lake City alone. It is absurd. I don't know what it is. They always have great recipes. I mean, you even have Clean Simple Eats, a great protein powder brand based out of Utah because the macro craze is insane. I mean, there was even a lady in my neighborhood, multiple women in my neighborhood, who went on these, like, I think her name is I Heart Macros. She's one of the big ones. She went on the training and posted her progress every day. She was just a mom, not an influencer, but she was just posting it to friends and family so that they could see. And honestly, on I think her second week, she had to post and be like, yeah, I'm actually quitting this because the calories were so low that I was getting dizzy every day and I hated it. Damn, okay. A lot of these programs tend to go this way because a PDF with a meal plan and a workout plan is very much not tailored to who you are and your personalized needs. So I think these macro coaches are kind of annoying because it's like, bruh, you cannot be selling people stuff that's going to make them sick when you're not a doctor, you're not a dietitian, you're not a nutritionist. Because if you were a nutritionist, you probably wouldn't be giving out mass PDFs with here's what you eat every day for 3 weeks and here's what you're gonna push your body to do every day for 3 weeks, even though I know nothing about you. Next, we have mommy vloggers. This is pretty much self-explanatory. These are people who just make content about their kids and it's kind of weird. If you follow any pages that is just a mom recording their kid all the time, you are also weird. So definitely go unfollow them. Maybe you didn't know. Another large group of Utah influencers that I'm just gonna put right there. Next, we have Mormon celebrities. Now, this is hard to explain, but for some reason, the LDS film industry industrial complex churns out a lot of superstars, and these superstars end up being local celebrities for the rest of the time. And in being local celebrities, they've been able to parlay that into being micro-influencers. For example, we've got the cast of Studio C. They were on BYU TV, killing it. They were my peak entertainment. I loved them all. Stacy, I love you if you see this. They were iconic. And then Studio C ended, but Instagram was there, baby. Instagram came in and swooped them up, saved them from the fate of having to get real. Actually, they probably do have real jobs. I don't know. Another great example is David Archuleta. Our boy won American Idol, said, no, I'm focusing on going back to Utah and being a Mormon missionary and doing what I'm supposed to. And then he went away and did that. And then he came back and did music. And now he's kind of an influencer who also does music, who also is gay. Congrats, David Archuleta. Now we have group 2 of the girl bosses, because these are girl bosses who are not running legitimate businesses. They are running MLMs. That's right. If you are in an MLM, that is not a legitimate business. Let me know if you guys want me to do an MLM Iceberg, because I feel like that would be very fun. But because there's so much support in MLMs, women who work their way up to the top get so many followers off this. In my personal experience, I think some of the most like Instagram, social media ones are doTERRA, very big. I feel like there are definitely oil influencers who've really climbed their girl boss way up to the top and they've received followers through that. It's mostly just their downline and prospective customers, but it's slaying. I think another one, this is probably the biggest one, is Saint, formerly known as Mascara. My aunt used to work for them, and that is one of the worst products you will ever put on your face in your life. Literally, I just feel like I'm about to be broken out thinking about it. But they're very aesthetic. The founder, Kara, like really does understand how to keep things cute. So that one was very palatable on Instagram. Now we're getting scary. This is the scary part where we're like under the iceberg and it's like the unknown waters and like sea creatures could be hanging out here and it's getting like weird. Low key, these are probably out of place, but first we have lions, not sheep. Now there is so much lore on this guy and I feel like most people don't like him, which is good because he's psychotic. Now this guy basically just runs like a Trumpy brand, which like if you like Trump, like whatever, or you're still welcome here, but like in a way that's like hateful, you know? And he's very messy. Somebody online described him as such. You better watch out for that guy. He's an alpha king, red meat eating, never smiling, gun toting, John Wayne badass. He'll steal your girl and ride away in his Ram diesel, which has a Punisher logo on every single window. Mess with him and he'll punish you. I remember he had a big thing about his shirts. Yes, this is just literally shirts and stickers that say lions, not sheep, hoorah. But the big controversy, well, one of them, was that But he was toting that his products were all American made, and then it came out that he was ripping out the tags that said made in China and replacing them with tags that said made in America. Also, his wife filed for divorce on him. Ooh, next we have Tim Ballard. Ooh, it's getting really scary here and cold at the bottom of the iceberg. Okay. Tim Ballard is the founder of Operation Underground Railroad, which in theory is a great thing. It's supposed to be dedicated to rescuing children from human trafficking. But over the years, the layers have been peeled back and we found out some horribly disturbing things about Tim Ballard and this organization.
We were subjected to sexual harassment, spiritual manipulation, grooming, and sexual misconduct.
It started with a stain on an unwashed leather skirt, and now one of the women accusing Tim Ballard of sexual assault says the Utah State Crime Lab has a 100% DNA match.
So as you can see, anybody with 5 lawsuits hedged against them and multiple allegations from multiple different women. People are coming out saying that nothing he has ever said is true. People have personal stories that they haven't even dared to file lawsuits with. It's bad. This guy sucks so bad. But because he is so charismatic and has quite a knack for speaking, and he had a podcast, he had such a huge platform. But I mean, I think these days, if you're still following him, that's like dark sea creature. You are down there, you are confused, or you are, I don't know what happened. Maybe you didn't hear what happened. Next on the iceberg, we have Mormon influencers. Now, these are people who share content about belonging to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or not belonging to it and leaving it. Now, I feel like this is pretty niche, so these people don't usually have like gigantic audiences, so that's why I've put them this low. I'm not saying that this kind of content is like crazy, but like sometimes it kind of like cracks me up. Like there's this one dude, Kwaku, who's like known for being kind of a menace. He has like a podcast about being Mormon and he just chirps out people who are not. And then of course you've got the people who've left the church and make a platform off of that. I think both are fine, honestly. I think both are a little goofy and I think both are fine, whatever. Next, I have wedding videographers. Now, I don't know why every person in Utah is a wedding photographer or videographer, but they are. And that for some reason has made all of them influencers. This is one thing that absolutely grinds my gears. When wedding videographers and photographers get on their Instagram stories and act so pressed by their clients. Their clients that paid $20,000 for you to take a couple photos of their big day. I get it. You had to be there all day. You had to come home and you had to edit the photos, but don't be if I pay you $20,000 to shoot my wedding, if I see you post an Instagram story being like, hey client, you better stop fucking blowing up my phone, you bitch asses. I'm trying to go have some me time. I need self-care time. And I'm like on month 2 of not seeing my wedding photos, I'm gonna be pissed. I am. Also, can we talk about why the fuck to book a wedding videographer or photographer? It's not just like, you can't just sign up. You can't just look at a menu with pricing. You have to fill out a form that's like, tell me about how you met. Tell me about your favorite date you had together. Okay, but that's how it is. And it's like always a paragraph response. And then they're like, we've received your form, we'll get back to you later. And then you wait like 2.5 weeks, you finally hear back from them and they're like, one of 2 things. They're not available on the date you picked. And they're like, well, you could just switch your whole wedding. You could, girl, because I'm available the 3rd Tuesday next March 2025. So just do that. Or they're like, our minimum investment is $55,000. And you're looking at it and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'll go back to the drawing board. If you're a wedding photographer or videographer watching this, please know that I'm just kind of in a spicy mood, but I do have love in my heart for you if you're cool. Like I've worked my whole life with photographers and videographers because I was a child teen model in Utah. I've worked with all of you and for the most part, you're very kind and cool, so. Next, I just have locals as a category because I think everybody in Utah is so good at aesthetics and dressing nice and doing your hair and getting married and having babies and doing expensive photo shoots for all life events. Every local in their own way is an influencer. Need I elaborate? And that, my friends, I believe is the true Utah influencer iceberg. Give it up for me. Woo, 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 woo. This video was stupid. If you want more stupid videos or less stupid videos, give me ideas that are less stupid. And please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, please. We're actually getting pretty close to 200K and maybe we could have a pizza party if we get enough box tops. And by box tops, I mean subscribers. So bye guys, love you.